You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
But I'm taking the underdog in Sierra Canyon.
Wow. Jahleel, there it is, right off the top. Producers wasting no time. Welcome to MaxPreps SoCal. Over the next half hour, we're going to spotlight this week's championship games and some of the biggest performances from last Friday. Come on in. I'm Hayre, joined by former LA Charger Jahleel Addae. And before we start this loaded championship episode, Leo, you knew it was coming, right?
I knew it was coming. Hey, I swung for the fences, and sometimes when you swing for the fences, you strike out. I usually bet on myself, but I was dead wrong on that one, I have to admit. Addae shut me up.
But wait, there's more.
The weather may be shaky, a little bit of rain. That may change the game plan. That may change things with Wyatt Becker, how he can sling the ball around the field. They may have to lean more on the running game, but I'm taking the underdog in Sierra Canyon.
Wow. Wow.
You know what my coach calls that when I was playing? Loud and wrong. Loud and wrong.
Hey, you know what, though? I give you credit for swinging because Sierra Canyon was doing their thing all season long. And in modern day, they are who they are, right?
They are who they are. Too powerful. At the end of the day, they are too powerful, too many studs. Hey, Addae, I will say, I'm sorry. I bet against you and you shut me up. We'll see how it goes this week.
Public apology. There we go. All right, we have a show to get to now. Here we go, the new California State Top 10, and there's a change at the top. Addae supplants St. John Bosco. Interesting. They're the #1 team in the state now. El Cajon's Granite Hills made the biggest jump from 19 to 7. Servite also entered the top 10. Now, St. John Bosco survived a classic against Centennial, 43-42 on Friday night. After driving down the field, Cordell Hatcher punched it in to make it a 1-point game with 8 seconds to go. Huskies went for 2 in the win, but got denied by that stout Braves defense. St. John Bosco advances to the championship game at the Coliseum on Friday. They're going to defend their Division I title. As for Addae, they handed Sierra Canyon their first loss of the season, 42-14 last Friday. We alluded to it. The defense forced an early fumble and was all over quarterback Wyatt Becker in the Sierra Canyon offense. Senior Ajon Bryant led the way for the Monarchs on offense. A team-high 124 total yards, including a 55-yard touchdown in the first quarter. Addae, St. John Bosco, and all the other schools in the championship games were in Long Beach this past Monday for the 47th annual CIF Southern Section Football Luncheon. Jahleel and I were there as well and spoke to several teams, including the Monarchs and Braves.
We're going to approach this game as an isolated, separate event, and I think our kids are mature enough to know that, and you have to be able to have faith and belief in your kids that they're going to listen to the messaging and they're going to go out there and compete, and that's what our guys are going to do. I have no doubts that we're going to put that first game behind us because it really didn't matter. We're underdogs again going into this game, which is right where we like to be, and we're going to go out there and play Bosco football.
We just have to execute. Like the coaches spent the long weekend putting together a good game plan for us, and we just got to go out there and execute it.
It wasn't due to effort, wasn't due to focus. It was just a lack of execution. I think that came down last game, and I think, like I said, the boys understand that, and I think the coaches understand that. And I think, well, I know we'll have a better showing on Friday.
I think that loss really brought us together, you know, as a team, and then once the playoffs started, you know, we've only been growing from there.
All right, so the rematch is set. Jahleel, what's it going to take for each team to win? Starting with Bosco, Coach Negro already saying, hey, we're the underdog in this one.
Yeah, they have to feel some kind of way when you say, hey, we just played these guys a few weeks ago and we beat them 28-0, and now we're the underdog. So that's just an extra fuel in the fire for Bosco to come out and play. But Bosco has to stop the run. Addae's offense hasn't been hot, but just last game, they were hot. They have to stop the run, force Elijah Brown to drop back and pass. And when they do, Marcellus Williams, a USC commit who I caught up with, Peyton Woodyard, a big-time safety headed to Alabama, need to take the ball away.
Addae, though, you know, we talked to Coach McManus. He said there was a variety of things that happened in that game that they will adjust to. What will it take for them to beat Bosco?
Yeah, Coach McManus said, I don't think, I know. But what he needs to do is, I think they have to self-scout, look and see what worked, what didn't work. Establish a running game. Be two-dimensional. You don't want to be one-dimensional with that firepower that Bosco has. And when you get a chance, Bosco has a lot of momentum right now. When you get a chance, you have to take the momentum away, take shots down the field, and try to swing the big momentum back in their favor.
I'll get your pick at the end of the show, okay? You
yeah,
think about
that.
it, all right? Moving on to Division II. Another great matchup in the final between Servite and Mission Viejo. We'll start with the Friars. They took care of Gardena Serra in their semi, jumping out to a 28-6 lead after 3 quarters and held on to win 28-20. Junior running back Quade Carr starred once again, 136 on the ground, 2 touchdowns. He's rushed for over 100 yards in all 3 playoff games with 6 scores Following their win, Servite joined Jim Hill and Stephon Johnson in studio on Sports Central Saturday. Our season has been consistently ascending, which has been a really positive thing for us. We went through some battles earlier in the season, suffered some tough defeats, have learned how to close out games, how to defeat opponents, and last night and the week before against Long Beach Poly, you're really starting to see the fruits of that labor, the battle-tested, the adversity we've gone through, and we're finishing off opponents, and we've beaten some really, really good football teams, and we get to keep playing.
To understand and know that you are the engine of your football team as far as making sure that you can be able, like your coach said, finish up these games, that there's real tough games. What does it take, you know, on a week in, a week out basis to keep that mindset and keep healthy and keep in shape to be able to finish games off like that?
It just took hard work and dedication. Monday through Thursday, we're just working our butts off at practice, getting all the plays down, watching film, doing everything like that. And then when it's Friday, it's game time, go out there and do our best, play some Servite football.
Coach, what are your initial thoughts on Mission Viejo?
It's a really good team. I mean, it's the same theme for the better part of the last month, and playing our schedule, everybody's a good team, but a lot of really good skill on the outside. They've got good line play up front. They've been a consistent contender for a long, long time in Southern California. It's a great matchup. We're really excited about it. So speaking of those Diablos, they beat Murrieta Valley 31-21 in their semifinal matchup behind a stout defense, and they've now won 5 straight. Jahleel caught up with head coach Chad Johnson. Not Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson at this week's luncheon, and he gave us a player to watch in this big game.
One of the guys is Jonathan Asuncion, one of our linebackers. He's had a phenomenal game last week. He's been playing really well lately. He's one of those undersized linebackers that maybe a college says is not tall enough or not big enough or not fast enough or whatever it might be. But as a high school football player, he is nails for us.
All right, Jahleel, who are you picking in this one and why?
I'm picking Mission Viejo. When you look at Mission Viejo as a team, Coach Johnson has done a really good job with them over this year and just has them really well prepared. He says he has 22 starters that started in the season and are healthy still. That's a big time when you come into a game like this deep into the season, and you have a lot of your starters still available for you. And then you look at Servite, Quick Car's a beast, over 1,100 yards rushing, 16 total touchdowns. But I think just their lack of experience, the youth on their team, is going to be difficult for them to overcome in this championship.
Hey, they're battle-tested playing in that conference with Addae and St. John Bosco, but you said at Mission Viejo, man, they are tough. All right, a pretty incredible story playing out in the Division 8 playoffs. Once 2-8 at the end of the regular season, Charter Oak, they've won 3 straight games, and now they're going to play for a CIF title. After a dominant 42-16 win over Palmdale's Highland last week, Charter Oak now 5-8 and in the Division 8 final against Fontana's Europa Hills, who came into this playoffs at 4-6 themselves. It's the school's first title game appearance since 2015. They're looking for their first CIF championship since 2009. I caught up with head coach Dominic Farrar and asked him to put this team's playoff run into words.
Humbled, grateful. The adversity and the perseverance that we went through for these young men to show that kind of resilience. Our strength of culture, their strength of character. I couldn't be more proud of them and our coaching staff. Everybody's kind of worked tirelessly. We've kind of kept our head down and kind of controlled the controllable and ignored the noise. And I think this is a testament to what we stand for and what we represent. And there's a whole heck of a lot of pride in our tradition.
So, Jahleel, we've talked about this team the last few weeks. Quite simply, a dream run for the Chargers.
Yeah, it's amazing when you look at it and you say a 2-8 team. We would have never thought that we'd be talking 2-8 versus a 4-6 team in the regular season playing in the championship. But you look at coaching, when you talk to him, all he says is, we're thankful to be here. We're thankful to be here. And it just takes a group effort of us building this camaraderie, never losing faith, and always believing, not listening to no outside noise, believing what we have in the program and what we can accomplish. And they're here, and they mean business.
So what do you see in this? An opportunity to go to 6-8, but with a ring on your finger.
Hey, ring on your finger, man. Jewelry makes everything better, man. Jewelry makes everything better. I remember when I was a little single kid running around San Diego back in the day. Now I'm married with the jewelry on, and it makes everything better. So those guys are looking for a ring, and I think they'll be able to get it.
Life-changing experience. All right, coming up, we're going to check out the championship matchups in the city section, including Garfield Birmingham in the Open Division, plus a preview of the MaxPreps SoCal Game of the Week, the Division 4 championship between Corona Del Mar and Lucerne.
This is Coach Frank McManus, Addae High School, coming at you from Santa Ana, California. You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk some LA City section. The Garfield Bulldogs 11-1 and were champions in the Eastern League this year. They're about to face their toughest test yet in Saturday's Open Division final against the three-time defending champs, Birmingham. We stopped by practice this week to see how head coach Lorenzo Hernandez is prepping his team.
Birmingham is a phenomenal team. They have a great coaching staff. Again, very physical, very dynamic in what they do. The reason why they've only had 2 losses because they played some power section teams. So it's going to be definitely a great experience for us all. But more so, it's going to be great for the fans there. It's going to be a great game.
So Garfield will look to dethrone Birmingham on Saturday night. Here's a look at the other title games in the city section, including Banning and Crenshaw playing for the Division I championship on Friday. So Jahleel, can the Bulldogs knock off the 3-time defending champs?
Absolutely, positively not. And when I say this confidently because Birmingham has too many big-time players. When you look at them all over the board, they have studs that can play on the offensive side, defensive side. And Garfield's going to give a good shot. They're going to put their best foot forward, but I just think they have too many big dogs.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
We'll run that tape back, too.
Run it back.
All right, to our MaxPreps SoCal game of the week now. The Division IV final between Lucerna and Corona Del Mar. The Lancers, they've won 8 straight games on their way to the title game, while CDM is back playing for a CIF championship for the first time since 2019.
The kids have believed and trusted each other and stuck to the point and kept their noses down and worked and again, to be paid off like this is great.
They're a solid football team, great program. They're well coached, they're disciplined, they play great defense, they throw the ball well. It's going to be a good game, just like the final should be. So we're expecting a hard-fought matchup, and we're going to give everything we have.
So, Jahleel, both these teams can score points, but let's key in on the defense, starting with Lucerna.
Yeah, Lucerna's defense has really good guys up front that can rush the passer. Emery Law, Adrian Castro. Emery Law has 9.5 sacks. Adrian Castro, 7 sacks. When you can pressure the quarterback at a high rate like they do, they make it very difficult for offense to succeed.
CDM has a great offense as well, but what about their defense?
Christian Brooks, when you look at the film, he flashes all over the field. He has 5 sacks, leads the team in tackles. He has tackles for loss all over the field. When you need a play to be made, he can come through for you.
So who's it going to be, Corona Del Mar or Lucerna for the title?
I'm going Lucerna. They have 3 DBs. I'm a DB guy. They have 3 DBs in their secondary with more than 3 interceptions. When you could take away the ball at a high rate like that in the game, you make it really difficult for offenses. Turnovers win championships.
No doubt. And the fun thing about this is you can catch the winning team from this one live on Sports Central this Saturday afternoon following the Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn. That's on CBS Los Angeles. All right, coming up, Warren, they do it again. The Bears pulled off another 1-point victory in a controversial finish against Chaminade. And National Football editor Zack Poff joins us to preview the MaxPreps game of the week and Newbury Park's path to a Division V title.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
Hey, championship, baby. Hey, we come for it all. We getting a ring this year. We getting a ring this year.
There it is, an electric scene at Warren High School following the Bears' 36-35 overtime win over Chaminade. Running back Kelton Strickland connected with wide receiver Jace Brown on the 2-point try to win the game. Warren will be playing for their first ever Southern Section football championship after 3 straight 1-point victories.
I think that's what it is. We just kind of, our kids are just so resilient as well, and I just love the way they fight through adversity all year, and here we are.
The way you won this last game, too, one of the best play calls I think I've ever seen, the 2-point play.
You got to have those kind of things in situations like that. We didn't want to go into overtime anymore, We game before, I think, we're just aggressive, and that's how I've always coached, and, go for the win, and, they had momentum at the end when they scored first in overtime, and so the best way to snap momentum is just to end the game.
All right, joining the show now, MaxPreps National Football editor Zack Poff. And Zack, the CIF later admitted the refs missed an illegal formation on the last play of that game, but hey, doesn't matter now. How impressive has Warren quarterback Madden Yamaliava been these playoffs?
Hey, it's coming down to the point, man. Just keep the game close if you're Warren, and Madden Yamaliava is going to make some big-time plays down the stretch. We've seen him in the 3 playoff games. They've won them all by 1 point. He's thrown for at least 300 yards and 3 touchdowns in all 3 playoff games. you can take it to the bank, man. I'm taking Madden, Iamaleava, and that dangerous receiving core in Warren to win the D3 section title on Friday or this weekend. I think he's going to throw for 300 plus and at least 3 touchdowns once again.
They're battle tested too. When you win 3 straight games by a point, you know your guys can play when it counts. All right, let's get to your thoughts on the game of the week. Mater Dei against Bosco. We were just talking offline, Zach. Who knows what to expect?
Yeah, you know, first of all, y'all doing Jahleel dirty with that, coming in hot with the Sierra Canyon take.
Way too dirty. Listen, I think it was crossing the line, frankly.
Yeah, hey, but that's what happens when you pick against Mater Dei in big-time games, especially before the Division I championship. And, you know, I was telling people at work, this is going to be the best slate of games we see all weekend across the country. And our #1 game of the week is going to be this CIF Southern Section Division I championship game at the Collie between #3 St. John Bosco and #5 Mater Dei. And, you know, you heard Jason Negro earlier talking about the regular season matchup doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You got to go all the way back to 2017, the last time one of these teams swept the series. And that 2017 Mater Dei team was the best team I've ever seen in high school football. So this is going to be a new game on Friday. It's going to come down to coaching adjustments. And a guy I think that's going to make big-time plays for Mater Dei, who's been a stud so far in the playoffs, is Ajon Bryant. He's one of the kind of underlooked guys from Mater Dei because they have so many 4 and 5 stars. But I think this is going to be a guy that's going to make some key plays for Mater Dei. And I think they're going to even the series up and take down St. John Bosco in a very, very competitive game.
All right, the loaded baked potato matchup, Servite versus Mission Viejo in Division II.
Yeah, this one, man, this is a toss-up for me. You know, the thing I respect about both these programs is they played big-time schedules this year. You saw Mission Viejo go all the way out to Washington, D.C. and play DMV Power St. John's. Servite, obviously, in the Trinity League. But I'm kind of leaning Servite here. I just look at the road to the D2 championship game. It's been a little tougher. They beat Long Beach Poly in overtime, and they answered that beating a very talented Gardena Sarah squad. And I think that's going to bode well for them come this weekend on Saturday. And I think they're going to get a tight win against a very red-hot Mission Viejo team that's won 5 in a row.
All right, Zach, finally, what about this Division V final between Newberry Park and Orange Vista?
If you like, you know, explosive offense, this is a game to watch. You know, Brady Smigel, this dude's a stud. He's only a sophomore. He comes into this game, he's already thrown for 95 touchdowns throughout his high school career. This year, he's got 3,800 plus yards, 49 touchdowns. And you got to talk about Shane Rosenthal. This is a dynamic playmaker on both sides of the ball. He has 118 receptions already, 1,800 plus yards, and he's also got 12 interceptions on defense. I think these two studs are going to find a way to get it done and bring home that D5 section championship for Newberry Park. And expect both these guys to be in the mix when we come out with our MaxPreps All-American teams for the best players in the country in the respective classes on December 19th.
Zach, you're the best, man. It's safe to say we'll have a lot to talk about next Wednesday. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, stop doing Jahleel dirty like that, all right?
I know, man. Listen, not my responsibility, okay? Still to come, 100-year-old history in the making for Simi Valley High School. We've got to give a little love to the Pioneers. That's next.
You're watching MaxPreps SoCal.
All right, here's a look at the games our MaxPreps SoCal crews will be at on Friday and Saturday, including the Division III final in the southern section between Warren and St. Bonaventure on Saturday. And speaking of the Bears, let's listen in to this call of their latest one-point win, courtesy of former Sports Central PA, Colin Yee.
Game on the line. Iamaleava. The snap. Oh, what a play! Complete to Brown, and Warren, for the first time in school history, is going to the CIF Southern Section Championship. The handoff to Strickland, and a perfect pass to Jace Brown, and Warren calls game.
First of all, Colin, that call was awesome. Secondly, Jahleel, that play call was awesome.
It was awesome. It was a play that they looked like they had in their bag for a long time now. When you look at the play, it was a different formation. You said that there was some controversy about if the guy was off, if the offensive lineman was at the right side or not, if it was an eligible play, but it was gutsy. It was aggressive. It shows that the coach has a lot of confidence in his team, and they went out and delivered in dramatic fashion.
Here it is. All right, before we go, your stat to know this week. A few teams are looking for their first ever CIF football championship, including Simi Valley. The school has been around since 1920. The Pioneers are playing in just their second championship game. They're looking for their first title in 103 years. It's like the Chicago Cubs, Jahleel.
It is. It'd be awesome to see them get one. Obviously, man, when you're in high school, this is the stuff that matters. You don't remember the practices. You don't remember the wins and the losses, but you remember the memories of the game. You remember how it went down, and you remember the feeling that you had with your buddies.
All right, so I waited till this moment. Modern day Bosco. Jahleel picks who?
Modern day Bosco showdown in Southern California.
At the Coliseum.
At the Coliseum. Fight on. I'm going Bosco. Modern day, yes, 2 weeks in a row I'm going against you. Bosco, man, it's loaded. If I was in Vegas, I'd be a betting man. Every time they play Modern day, they get the good side. And guess what? Modern day is the favorite again. St. John Bosco has to say, you know what? It's time for us to really put our foot on their neck and finish them.
There it is. All right, hey, we got the tape regardless, and we'll play next Wednesday. That does it for us. We'll see you next time.